Hi, so this is going to be the final vlog for this vlog series, and today I just want to talk about what being a good citizen means in the midst of this pandemic. And to me, the first step of being a good citizen in this pandemic is to listen to the medical advisories of the DOH or to of medical professionals, and really that is to stay home and to practice social distancing. Now, it's important to do this because the COVID-19 is spread through social contact or through human contact. And at the end of the day, the best thing we can do to combat this and to fight the spreading of this virus is to not be in huge crowds, to not go in public, and to just stay at home and hold out for the pandemic to be dealt with medical professionals. And during this time in quarantine, it's important that we keep up the news, keep up date to the news, and whether it's from the TV or it's from the social medias that we access, Facebook or Twitter, it's important that we keep up to date to the news because we need to know what's going on out there, and it's up to us to be up to date and to know what we can do to fight this. And here's what I want to stress more is that during these times of panic, this is especially where fake news is going to arise, and it's up to us to stay vigilant and to make sure that the news that we see online or on the or online are from credible sources such as the Rappler or from the DOH themselves. These are the things that we need to listen to because the last thing we need right now is more panic spreading throughout the nation. We need Filipinos to start thinking rationally, to have a clear mind, and to really think about the steps that they can take so that they don't get sick or they don't spread the disease to individuals who are more susceptible to the virus. These are people who are at old age or people who have low immunity systems. Because even though we don't show symptoms, there's also a possibility that we are carriers of the virus, and we could pass this on to people who don't necessarily have what they need to fight it. So there could be people who don't have high income, so they don't have money to pay for the expenses of the hospitals, and these are also for the people who are in the front lines who are risking their lives for us Filipinos in order to combat this pandemic. These hospitals, they cannot uh, carry any more people. Many hospitals nowadays are full, and it's up to us citizens to make sure that we don't increase to the problems that these frontliners are experiencing. And what I want to stress also is for us to listen to the government. However, we need to do this not just blindly, not just following blindly, but also to be critical and but obedient. So that's what I want to stress. We have to be critical but also obedient. When the government tells us that we need to stay at home or that we need to practice social distancing, we do it. But we don't just take everything they say and not listen to it, because nowadays, especially in times like these, the government the government needs to be watched over by us citizens, because we are the ones who put them in power, and it's up to us to tell them whenever they are doing something wrong. It's up to us to criticize the government so that they can improve for the better. There have been news that in some hospitals the supplies are being taken away so that they can be sent back by a certain senator, so that this senator will get a bigger reputation, because of course if they put their name on the supplies, then people will be thankful to them. And really, these are such saddening news. The fact that some senators or some government officials are taking advantage of the this pandemic, which is killing many people, many Filipinos, simply so that their reputation may be remembered once this pandemic is done. And really, at the end of the day, as good citizens, this is the most important thing we need to do. As good citizens, we all have to practice, or we all have to show that we care for the country, and that's what being a good citizen is. Whether it's by staying at home and not spreading the disease, or calling out the government on things that they are lacking, being a good citizen means that you care for the country, and that you'll do everything you can in your power to help the country. And there's not really anything there's no small or big effect. Everything you do has an effect. As long as you stay at home, meron ka ng ambag. As long as let's say you're tweeting and you're telling everyone else what the government is doing wrong, may ambag ka na rin doon. So don't really think about being a good citizen as being as having a great effect like being Jose Rizal or being like Andres Bonifacio, because nowadays uh, anyone has the power to be a good citizen. And it's important for us to call out these government officials or to practice social distancing, because at the end of the day, as even after this pandemic, we are still one nation, and it's up to us to look out for each other. Once this pandemic is over, the government may take advantage of whatever they were able to do. They'll try to get on our good side, and they'll try to manipulate other people. But it's up to us to call them out on that as well. It's important that we let them know we were the ones who put them in power, and that they're never going to be above the law or above the Filipino people. And so, at the end of the day, that's what I want to get across. The being a good citizen, it's doing everything you can to make sure that the country is better off, and that the country does not perish, whether it's from this pandemic or it's from a political problem. These are issues that we're always going to tackle. This pandemic may be a major obstacle or a major problem that the country is facing right now. But once this is all said and done, there are going to be other problems, social problems, and there are going to be so many more problems that we Filipinos have to face. And I hope that in a way this pandemic will show us just exactly what we have to do to make sure that the country is going to thrive. So as good citizens, it's up to us to learn from this pandemic, to take all the information we can about the government, seeing where they went wrong, seeing as how they react to all these problems. It's up to us to make sure that after this pandemic, the government is going to improve, and that we're going to be better off as a nation. And so that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Being a good citizen, there's always something we can all do individually, even the small things, even staying at home, and even in just tweeting or just keeping up the news. That's already being a good citizen. You don't really have to think much about it. It's just that easy. So yeah, that's my final vlog, and yeah, thanks for listening.